Welcome to this explainer. We're jumping right in today to set the stage for an exciting journey into exactly how our political opinions shake the government we live under. And honestly, more importantly, we're going to look at why your individual voice absolutely matters. We're going to unpack the actual tools of democracy, figure out who the major players are, and learn how to navigate through all the noise out there with a clear, morally grounded mind. To get us started, we're going to anchor this whole concept with a really powerful idea from Proverbs 15:22. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. The reason this hits the nail on the head for citizenship is that making wise decisions actually requires us to actively listen to a bunch of different voices. We literally can't just operate in an echo chamber. For our democracy to succeed, we need the counsel of many advisors, but we also need the wisdom to understand what those advisors are actually saying. So here is our roadmap for the next few minutes. 1. Voices of democracy. 2. Meet the political parties. 3. The role of interest groups. 4. How to spot bias. And 5. Education, morality, and peace.
Part 1. Voices of democracy. Organizing our beliefs.
You know, healthy political expression has a few absolute non-negotiables. It should always be honest, respectful, and aimed at the common good, not selfish ambition. Looking at this from a biblical morality perspective, our civic duty isn't about manipulating people. It's not about tearing others down, and it's definitely not about creating division. It's really about seeking truth for the benefit of absolutely everyone. When people get together to speak up and find solutions, those messages have to be tested with wisdom. We constantly have to step back and ask ourselves, are we actually aiming for the common good here?
Moving right along to Part 2. Meet the political parties, the election organizers.
So what exactly is a political party anyway? Well, it's an organization that tries to win elections so they can control government policy. And they do this by promoting a specific set of beliefs called a platform. It might help to think of a political party kind of like a massive sports team. The main goal of that team is to win the overall championship, which in this case means controlling the government. In the US, our two major teams are the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, plus a few smaller third parties. They want to win the big game so they can put their platform into action across the country.
So how do these parties actually operate day to day? They're basically these incredible organizing machines that rely on 3 core functions. They choose candidates, raise money, and rally supporters. They go out and find the specific politicians who represent their platform. They gather up the massive amounts of funding you need to run a campaign these days, and they get citizens, everyday people, energized and excited to actually go out to the voting booths.
All right, Part 3. The role of interest groups, the issue advocates.
Let's define what these are because they're a bit different. An interest group is an organization focused on specific issues rather than just winning elections. For example, you might have a group that's dedicated entirely to passing laws to protect clean water. If a political party is the whole sports team trying to win the championship, an interest group is more like a highly focused fan club advocating for one very specific rule change in the sport. They don't want to run the entire government. They just want to champion their one specific cause.
To actually get a law changed, these groups usually deploy a 3-step playbook. Step 1 is to lobby lawmakers. This means they literally go and meet directly with politicians to persuade them to support their specific issue. Step 2 is running public campaigns. They'll create ads, write articles, use social media, whatever it takes to raise awareness in the community. And Step 3 is encouraging members to contact representatives. They activate everyday citizens to write letters or call their local leaders to push for these specific laws.
Okay, let's put these two players head to head just to make sure we've got a really firm group on the landscape. Political parties have super broad platforms, and their absolute focus is on winning elections. On the flip side, interest groups have very specific issues, and their main focus is on passing laws. Understanding this difference is just absolutely crucial for knowing how our democracy operates. Parties want to put people in office, interest groups want the people in office to pass specific rules. That brings us to Part 4, how to spot bias, evaluating the message. Let's talk about a huge trap we all fall into sometimes, bias. Bias is simply presenting information in a way that favors one side without showing the whole picture. We have to remember that both political parties and interest groups use speeches and ads in social media to persuade us. They desperately want your support. Because of that, they aren't always going to hand you the neutral, complete truth. They're going to present the info in a way that makes their side look absolutely perfect and the other side look terrible. So what are the practical tools we can use to figure this out? You've got to watch out for 3 major red flags: emotional language, selective facts, and one-sided arguments. I mean, have you ever seen a political ad on TV or online that used really dramatic, scary music and angry words and only told half the story? Yeah, that is emotional language and selective facts working overtime. Spotting these red flags is how you separate fact from opinion, and it's a huge part of being a smart, informed voter.
Finally, Part 5: Education, Morality, and Peace, the Godly Learner's Philosophy.
I literally cannot emphasize this next point enough. Education without morality will hurt. Just being smart is simply not enough. I mean, what is the point of being highly educated if you just continue making bad choices that hurt yourself and your community? If we understand how political parties and interest groups work, but we have zero moral compass, that education can just lead to choices driven entirely by selfish ambition and manipulation. Education has to be tied to a solid moral foundation if we want to truly serve the common good.
According to the curriculum we're looking at today, here is the beautiful outcome of doing this the right way. Romans 8:6-7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps his or her mind spiritual. When you engage your mind spiritually, when you're actively testing the messages you hear for bias, and you're respectfully seeking the truth, the end result isn't some stressful, angry political fight. The result is peace. True peace of mind comes straight from being an informed, unbiased, and morally grounded citizen.
I want to leave you with a provocative question to really chew on as we wrap up this explainer. How can citizens listen to different viewpoints while still seeking truth and wisdom? Think about that for a second. As an 8th grader right now and a future voter tomorrow, how are you going to listen to those many advisors, filter out all that bias, and firmly stand on the truth? Keep that question in the back of your mind as you navigate your community and your future. Thanks for joining me today.